this is per diem. We're going to play Kiss, Marry, Kill, coaching, onboarding, and hiring. So they're going to have to rank in order of which one they would marry, that's first place, which one they'd kiss, and which one they'd kill. So first question, which one do you find most challenging? So Keenan, why don't we start with you? So most challenging down to least challenging. Hiring. And 2 sentences of why.
Because people are idiots. I'm sorry. So if I take that out of Keenan speak, it's because people do not know how to sell themselves or market themselves. They're completely unattached to what they've actually accomplished. They're completely unattached to what they actually can do and deliver. And they're married to a set of credentials and buzzwords that says, I'm really good and I do this and I'm great and I get this degree and I work really hard. And you can't really figure out who they actually are.
Okay. So number 1 is hiring. What's second place for you? Which one are you going to kiss? Second most challenging.
Oh, in business in the world?
And onboarding, out of onboarding.
Challenging, onboarding, because it's boring. So that's why I outsource it. I'm like Brady and so my team, you build it. I think it's super important. I just find it boring as hell. Like it is, it's a process. Onboarding.
Okay, and then the easiest is coaching.
Coaching, because I like things that have return. Like the more I coach, the more results I see. You know, like onboard is important, but I don't see results from that. But coaching, like you coach someone, I see results right away and I see them get better and I can track the progress.
Okay.
Feels like the newlywed game.
So I would kill at that game. I would kill at that game.
The newlywed game?
No, meaning if you know different isms about people. Yeah. Okay. So I realized it was actually the wrong order. I think killing is the hardest. That would be the hardest one. But we'll go with it. So Larry, you're up. Which one do you find the most challenging? So most challenging first. Which one would you kill?
Would I kill?
Yeah, start there.
It's the hardest one out of the 3.
The hardest one out of the 3 is hiring.
And what's that?
Finding good people. I mean, it's so difficult to find. When you interview someone, it's kind of like dating. They bring their representative, and then 3 months down the road, voila, the real person shows up.
Amen. Praise be.
And you're like,
praise be to God.
Where did they come from? I mean, I think I have a pretty good judge of character, but I've gotten duped several times. Not a ton, but it's very difficult to find good people that care. I call it EPIC. Entrepreneurial spirit, preparation and planning, internal drive and desire. Are you hungry? And then care, communication, and commitment.
Hallelujah. I want to go to church.
What's the second most challenging?
Oh, I would say coaching, doing it well. I don't know how many team sports or even individual sports athletes are out there, but think about all of the bad coaches that you've had. I've had coaches that have played at the highest level, terrible coaches. Terrible coaches. So I see the same thing in sales. There's coaches out there, but they ain't coaching a thing. And it reflects by the team's performance. You're supposed to be coaching me up. I'm doing terrible. Hell, waving the white flag. Onboarding is important. I mean, that first impression, but if you do this well, I think you can get rid of the onboarding.
Good point. G, kiss, marry, kill. Which one's the hardest?
Hardest.
It's hiring.
Hiring.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah. Which one's the hardest? Which one would you kill?
Hiring, I think the issue comes from the entire process in general. I don't feel like candidates are used to set up their expectation when they enter. So I think it's very difficult because obviously as the one recruiting, you are in a position of power because obviously people need a job. Yeah. They need money, they need to pay the rent, they need all these things, which for some pushes them to actually, as Larry said, put their best self, say things that they are not actually, pretend they are someone else. And I think this is tough. It's tough, and we all make mistakes when we hire, and I think it will continue to be the same as long as we keep the same structure for hiring that we have right now and that most people are doing.
Okay.
Second
hardest.
Onboarding. I agree with Keenan. I think it's boring. It's it's just for me. Onboarding is really No, but it's really it's a process. So for me, it's when the truth is like also during onboarding people, it's just the phase after hiring. So I feel like it's the same. You can still have people who pretend to be motivated during the onboarding, but you never know. And after that, coaching. So for me, it's like once they have done, you know, the onboarding and they're actually doing shit, I think it's much easier to have people improve and coach them and see the progress. And yeah, so in that order.
Okay. All right, that is question 1.
Wait, hold on. Kissing is the one that you think is important, but not that. But marry, I'm going to marry. This is the most important.
Okay, question number 2. Which one do you think companies get wrong the most often? So start with killing the one that they get wrong the most often. Keenan, we'll start with you.
Wouldn't that be the one, killing the ones they get the least often?
I'd say let's just go with it. Killing is the one they get wrong the most often.
Okay.
What? Maybe you're right. I don't know. Let's
I know it's kind of confusing what they do.
So
here.
let's go. Marry is the one that you get
that
they get wrong the most often.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
I know it's hurt my brain too.
Yeah, that's hurting my brain.
Marrying is wrong. Marrying is the one they get wrong the most often.
Okay, so I'm going to marry that one. What they get wrong the most often. Okay, this will surprise people. I'm going to say I'm marrying coaching.
Okay.
Only because this is the one they have a lot more control over. I don't care how good you are at hiring. There's so much thing you can't control. So they're going to get those. So they get this wrong most because they don't even do it. And because they do it, they do it shitty and they have complete control. So coaching is, I marry coaching.
They get wrong the most
Yeah.
often. What do they get wrong the second most often?
Hiring.
Yeah.
Hiring. And so I kiss hiring.
Okay.
And I kill onboarding. Again, they get it right because it's the easiest. And even if they don't do it, it's the least impactful.
Okay. Good. And then
Thank you, Bob.
Larry, what do they get wrong most often? What are you killing?
I would have to agree with Keenan. Coaching. I mean, I hate to say this. It pains my heart, but so many times I see organizations not coaching their people. And it starts with managers, the leaders. Where's the coaching for leaders? Normally, the top AE becomes the leader. No training, just that's kind of like my baseball coach. He played Major League Baseball. He was a Major League pitcher, opening day starter. Our pitching staff was the worst in the ACC. How does that happen? He could do it himself, but he couldn't incent and really show other people that he cared about them to bring out the best in them. So I would say coaching. The next would be, I would say, onboarding.
Okay.
It's so important. I think they say you never get a second chance to make a first impression. It's so important those first days, those first weeks, to really make sure someone gets acclimated into the team. And I don't think if you miss that, I don't think you can get it back.
Okay.
It's gone with the wind. Hiring, I hate to say it's a flip of the coin because there are things that you can control, but I would say in this scheme of things, it would be the last in my hierarchy.
Okay, makes sense. G, which one do you think the companies get wrong the most often?
So my reasoning is to say that people are employed mostly in small companies, which means that the first thing is coaching that they get wrong the most, just because like small business owners don't get a coach or don't coach. Second part is onboarding because they feel that you can learn on the job. And it's not something they want to invest time on, and usually they don't have the time. And last thing is hiring, just because like I agree with Larry. It's sometimes just like flipping a coin.
Interesting. So I forgot that I need to answer these two. So I'll answer the second question. I'll skip the first. Which one do I think they get wrong the most often? I actually think they get onboarding wrong the most often. The reason being, I don't think they focus on their buyer at all. Like they talk about founder, company story, tech stack, all of that, but they miss the most important part for salespeople. What do they get wrong the second most often? Coaching, for sure. I think that it's the hardest part for companies and for coaches in general is not motivation or doing it, but identifying. I know that you do a system called observe, describe, prescribe, and I think observing the right thing, the right characteristic of where they're going wrong is where leaders struggle the most. And so people don't get a lot out of coaching because they're not identifying the true root cause of why something's not going well. And then hiring, I would say in relativity to one another, everyone hires about kind of the same. Now, the candidates aren't that great, and everyone wants better candidates, but from my perspective, people are going to hire about the same across the board for companies in a relation speaking. Okay, so that's question 2. We got one more question, and then we're going to sum it up.
Wait, so what up?
So the third, sum it up. Sum it up, sum it up, sum it up, sum it up.
Never going to be done.
So the third question is going to be, which one is the most important to a sales team's success? So Mary first.
Mary first. Easy. Yeah,
Mary
this
first.
one's
Mary
easy.
first.
They did
Mary
this one
first.
right. This one they did right. Don't get mad, Vendish. Okay, which one is most important
Which
to a
one's
sales team's
most
success?
important?
Coaching, because if you make a bad hire, you can coach them out of it. So coaching, hands down, coaching's ongoing. The other two are spot in time. Coaching 100%, it's ongoing, it's engaging, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to marry coaching. I'm going to kiss hiring.
Sorry, hiring. It's only temporary.
I'm going to kiss hiring because I don't think we do it as well, but as you get better at being able to pick the right people and understand how they work, it means that there's less onboarding that's required and you can fix the fuck-ups. Right? Coaching can fix the fucks of a bad hire. Onboarding is and onboarding, what is it? I'm killing it.
You're killing it.
Yeah, okay.
You're killing it. So it's not that important to sales team success.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't say it's not.
Out
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
don't
three.
turn.
Out of the three.
Yeah. It's like saying which organ's more important, heart, brain, or whatever. It's like, oh, so your brain's not important anymore? I never said that.
Well, anywho, Larry.
I'm gonna have to flip the script as I think this one through. I've got to say hiring.
It's the most important.
Because I've seen it. If you make a bad hire, it messes up.
Yeah.
It messes up the culture. It messes up the vibe. And sales is a team sport.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a team sport comprised of many individuals. You got to get the hiring right. Now, does that mean you're going to get it right all the time? Heck to the nah. But if you can nail this, the organization has a chance to do something really, really special. Now, coaching, if you don't coach those folks up, whether they're A list, whether they're B list, hopefully you don't have any C's, but if you don't coach them up, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It's all over. Onboarding isn't important for sure, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm saying hiring, coaching, and then getting them on board.
Yes.
Choo choo!
Oh my God.
All right.
I love it.
G.
For me, it would be hiring first. I think when you have a bad hire, you can't coach them because people needs to be willing to be coached to get coached. And the bad hires often are a fixed mindset and don't want to change, so they can't be coached.
Good perspective.
So hiring would be my first. Then onboarding, because I feel like to be coached in the best way possible, you first need to understand the buyer, the organization, how things work, be a good fit in the team. As Larry said, like it's a team sport. And finally, coaching, because if you want to improve and continue improving over time.
But you're killing it, man. It's gone now. You killed it. You can't do it.
Okay, so I'm going to sum it up what I think is the most important sales team. So they specifically mentioned sales, so I would say hiring is the most important to me, especially when you think about industry knowledge that could come along with them, any kind of experience if we're talking AEs in specific, and especially hiring for the right qualities of people who will coach themselves, like fill in the gaps. Like sometimes I've hired reps that I gave them coaching, but they would have found it either way. And those are the kind of people that I want to work with. So second's going to be coaching. And so, and I think if nothing else, even if it's not making that big of a result, if you hire the right people, they're people who want to be coached. They're people who want to learn. And so they'll churn on you if they're not getting coaching. And then the third one's going to be onboarding is most important to me. It's specifically how companies I see doing it today, like, whenever I see reps churning or whenever I see reps not performing, it's not because they don't understand how to log into the CRM, and that's like what most of onboarding, sadly enough, is talked about. Like, it's not because they didn't understand the founder story or they didn't understand, how it all came to be. It's because they aren't getting the things internally that they need, or they weren't the right person to begin with, and they are getting those things that they need. So those are all three. So the good news is this video is sponsored by Vendition, and they do all.
Give me a V.
And they
Give me an E.
I
Give me an
did-
N.
Okay.
Rendition.
Okay, great. So the thing that stood out to me was in the first question we said what was the most challenging. Everyone mentioned hiring, and Vendition takes the sting out of that of whether you got the right person or not, because you can trial them out for three months. See what kind of person they are on the back end. So thanks to Vendition for sponsoring the episode.
I'm curious, Becc, what problem are they solving?
The problem that I have right now is it's 4:58, and we were supposed to start
Look at her
28
face.
minutes today.
Wow.
It's 28 minutes ago.
She just went full Rambo.
So
All
this
right.
is Per Diem, episode 7. This is
Come on, Larry, help me, man.
for Austin. Oh my gosh, I treat them so poorly.
Bye. Hopefully I see you again.